Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec, and this is the CSC. Alright, so this is a quick video about Matic. Now, the purpose is to show you how fast these guys truly work. I think this is important to understand because when you look at a project, you want to know, are they completing roadmap, and are they, how fast are they moving? This is very important because right now everyone's building. We've broken out of the bear market. We're moving up. If we're heading towards, a major bull run, you want to know that you're within a project or an ecosystem that's truly going to, make it happen. And, Matic is not the only project that I'm invested in, but Matic is definitely my most bullish pick for 2020 at this point, just because of their current market cap and where the team is going and how fast they really are working. And I want to show you this just by going over one of their project updates that they recently did. You can see that this article is made by the Matic Network, and it's on the essentially it's on their project update list. Now, this is encompassing November 11th through December 10th. It's a very small snippet of time that all of this has happened. So I'm going to go through this real quick because I want to show you just how much they can do in 1 month. Also, we'll probably go a little bit over their Twitter. I would suggest following Matic at Matic Network on Twitter. It's very important. You'll be able to see everything that they're doing. And do your own research, of course, following them on Twitter. I want to discuss price, maybe show you some of the analysis that I've done recently for Matic. I also want to kind of go over the coordinated leverage short attack that happened towards Matic, and I'll go over that with this exchange that I'm not logged into. I want to explain that it's the only way that dump could have happened would be via a coordinated attack, essentially. I also want to go over some altcoin kind of news that seems very bullish, which also supports any altcoin, but essentially Matic as well. So let's go over this article and just show you. You can see here that counterstake is now live. Staking is very important. It helps decentralize your project and support security of the project, though Matic's major security comes from the layer 1, which is Ethereum, but it also has its own staking decentralized aspects and security. So staking is very important. It's also one of the major things that will probably, in my opinion, help list Matic on Coinbase. So staking being live is important. Here is a game, Battle Racers, that's scaling with Matic. This is a game that I actually recently went over in a video. I really like the game. It's a fun game. It really is for blockchain gaming. It's very fun. I'm looking forward to finding specific pieces on OpenSea for the game. Here is a ticketing platform, Zoidi, that is using Matic to scale. Here we have Matic teaming up with Blockade Games. Essentially, I'll just read it here. Blockade Games is a leading video game development company which specializes in games that incorporate crypto assets in a way that pulls together today's largest blockchain gaming communities. And I think that's really important because the whole blockchain gaming space is an ecosystem, and especially when you're talking about Ethereum gaming, or in this case, which is more important, using Matic so that these games can scale. You want to team up with people like this, like Blockade, because they're going to go ahead and help push this blockchain gaming forward. Here's Trade Stars scales up with Matic Network. It's a fantasy sports kind of game where they have NFTs that represent like different major league players and things like that. So this is pretty cool. NFTs are really the future, I think, because you know, gaming is huge. It's what's going to get a lot of the millennials that aren't in crypto into crypto, and even the new generations into crypto. Gaming is going to be very important. NFTs, in my opinion, is like buying Bitcoin in 2015 after the bear market of 2014, because it's just that early, if you're getting into NFTs. Mint Flint, you can see here that they're also using Matic to scale, and it shows here that Mint Flint is a platform which allows you to subscribe to traders and be notified when they buy/sell coins, kind of like an eToro. I think this is really interesting here. Here's the game that interests me most, Chain Guardians. I bought this NFT. It's a Mudra, and they are also using Matic to scale. So this is definitely something to look into. Chain Guardians. You can find them on Telegram and Twitter, and you can see all of the very interesting work that they're doing. I think they're actually launching their AlphaNet very soon, so you'll be able to play the game, kind of like test it and all that. Here's Matic. They basically are now, they've been enabled to be spent using the Monolith card, so that's pretty cool. I actually use Crypto.com's card personally, but here's another avenue of spending crypto if you want to. I don't really like to spend crypto unless I need to or just want to test it out. But this is, for a lot of people, they have all this crypto, they need to spend some from time to time, and this is an amazing option. Here, Matic is teaming up with Troy for research, from my understanding. Now, scaling and research purposes. This is really cool. Kind of like a side note, you have to understand that Matic is an IEO. It's a Binance IEO. So there's many other Binance IEOs, and they're kind of their own ecosystem. They're all going to be working together, I would imagine, on some type of level. And IEOs are like golden nuggets. They're already been vetted by Binance, and if these vetted projects are all working together, that really kind of improves the focus and power behind these projects. So this is really cool to see that these IEOs are working together. Coinbase is invested in Matic. Matic's also a Binance IEO, so there's a lot of power behind Matic. Here's a ETH Waterloo post, and it shows you here, not only did our CEO Janti deliver a tech talk on making L2 layer 2 usable and host a workshop on building applications using fast plasma asset swaps on Matic, but we also provided a range of bounties to encourage the hackers to try their hand at building on Matic. So there has been, I believe, like 40 plus, 50 plus hackathons. I think 40 plus hackathons so far. They're trying to hit 50 plus hackathons this year. This is extremely important because you want to see your project getting out there, shaking hands, exposing their technology to developers, because that's what gets you to be able to have the next DApp, amazing DApp, or as I say, killer DApp upon your platform. You have to go out there and meet these developers, and Matic is a part of bringing these hackathons together, and they're doing a crazy amount of hackathons. I mean, just look at any other team. They're probably not doing 40 plus, 50 plus hackathons within a year. So Matic is moving very quickly. Here's Giant T. He's actually announcing some winners of the Matic Bounty and prizes. They put out a lot of prizes, even for just like AMAs and being part of the gaming ecosystem. Matic puts out a lot of money for you guys to make, and they make it fun. Here's another Matic bounty with Gitcoin hackathon. Here's Matic over here at the Binance Super Meetup in Singapore. They're just going all around the world, just all the time. Moving. Here's hosting the first ever Ethereum India meetup. Huge, guys. India just gets all this FUD, but what people don't understand is that India is probably one of the most bullish countries that are going to really push crypto to the next level. Everyone wants Bitcoin at 250K, but you need adoption, and you need great minds to develop and make that happen. And India really has some amazing bright minds and tech power. So I personally wouldn't listen to the FUD that you hear coming out of India. I think those are people trying to snuff out all the positive action that's coming out of India. Here's another blockchain meetup that they attended in San Francisco. Here's Matic being supportive for Genesis DevCon. Here they are in Thailand. AMAs, and this is for Spring Roll, so this is pretty cool. But Matic's doing AMAs all the time. They're doing interviews all the time. Here's an AMA with ID Crypto. Another interview here. An AMA with the Binance Thai community. Interview with Digital Frontier. AMA with Monolith. Battle Racers. Here's an interview with Chandresh at iBlock TV. An AMA with Chain Guardians, which I was excited about. Here they're talking about their counter stake and staking process. This is huge. This is taking off quite nicely. And here they're welcoming aboard the Matic Mitras. I'm a Matic Mitra. I'm not going to talk too much about that right now, but there's some really amazing powerhouses within this group. There's only a very small amount of us, and it shows here the Mitras come from all around the world, including Brazil, Guyana, India, Nigeria, Russia, Switzerland, Turkey, USA, Venezuela, and beyond, all around the world essentially. Here's Matic listed on an exchange, BitDesk, another exchange, Delta Exchange. So they're getting listed on all over the place as well. A lot of people want Matic to be listed because if you've noticed, the volume is insane, guys, for Matic. So really interesting. Essentially, what I wanted to show you that for is because that's about a month's time, and they did all of that within a month. So it shows you just how fast Matic works. I want to go ahead and also look at the market cap, and we're going to go to the Bitcoin dominance chart. And what I find very interesting here is that the Bitcoin dominance has kind of been moving down, as you can see recently since July. But what you do see, there's lots of these other altcoins in different colors here. They're kind of moving sideways or down sideways. But what's interesting is the white. The white is others. So those are all other altcoins outside of the major altcoins in regards to market cap. And what you see is the white line there is kind of trending upward. What that shows me is that there's a lot of interest in smaller cap altcoins. Of course, one being Matic would be one of them, as you can see from the chart. So this is a really interesting find, something to look at for yourself. Again, follow Matic at Matic Network. There's just so much on their Twitter. There's obviously all the new things that they're putting out. You'll be able to see things from the Matic Mitras. Out here you have Giboy. He's out here with his Matic shirt, bringing awareness to Matic. And there's all of the different announcements that are coming out, like Matic being able to be spent privately on incognito, and privacy is really one of the major things that brought me into this space. Just all of the things that they're doing. Matic's really making a run, as you can see here, after the coordinated leverage short attack. And let's go ahead and get into that. So essentially, it's very easy for smaller cap coins to be attacked. Unfortunately, I don't think, from my understanding, the team was not very, they weren't pro being on exchanges with leverage. But what you can do to make this happen is you can have multiple accounts. You can use 5 times leverage, and this is how it works. You have your candlesticks here, and here's trade history. So buys and sells, obviously green being buys, red being sells, and then you have your order book over here. And this is pretty much any exchange that you're going to look at. If this is Ethereum here, but over here you would see your green, which is your buys, and your reds, which is your sells. And you can see that this right here, just this buy area, is anywhere from 7,124 to 7,119. This is really interesting because it shows you, if you were to look at an order book for Matic, you're looking at essentially Sats all the way down, or USDT all the way down, the order book. And you can see here that next is the spread. So just within this order, there's an order for 6.1 at that price right there at the top, and that's fluctuating very quickly. But there's generally not a lot. There's maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars within each order listed on these order books, coming from the top to the bottom. It doesn't take a lot of money to essentially wipe out a huge row of orders on the table, especially when you're using leverage. I mean, you could probably find 5 times leverage pretty easily for Ethereum. I think Bybit does more for. I don't trade Ethereum on Bybit, so I haven't looked at that. But I know there's up to 50 times leverage for a lot of the altcoins that they have there. I know they have XRP, which is something I would trade more on Bybit or Bitcoin. But essentially, you can go ahead and take out 50 times, 5 times, whatever it is, and you can just take out a massive short against these buys, and you can create sell pressure very easily with just one account, with let's say $10,000 with just one account. But if you coordinated with many other people, you can easily get $100,000 together, and then use that to a leverage. So 5 times, 50 times your leverage. I think in this case with Matic, it'd be 5 times, and just hit the book real hard all at once. You can also dump Matic at spot cost on other exchanges without leverage, all at the same time, bringing these the algorithms all to a crescendo. Seeing the price drop, you're going to hit stops. So once a stop's hit, that means other traders have a stop at a certain level underneath the buy price, so that they protects them, so that if it comes down too far, they're stopped out and they don't lose so much money. If stops are hit, that means that creates even more sell pressure. So you're talking about only needing so many thousands of dollars, possibly $100,000 or more, to really move a small cap project. So it's actually, in my opinion, true that that's what happened. And based off what I've researched, it looks like that's what happened. I'm kind of getting into the ether scans, but that would make the most sense to me. That if you wanted to wreck a coin's market cap, the easiest way to do it would be to use leverage and just coordinate. It's happened for many projects in the past, many projects, but that's a whole other story. I think it's pretty interesting, some of the analysis that I've done recently. I have some analysis on XRP that a lot of people are very interested in this chart. Recently, I posted this chart for Matic, and you can see that I started here on this day, and it, Matic went up to this price. This was like, triple your money chart. This was a crypto.com account that I asked a very famous trader about, that said that this chart looked horrible. But as you can see here, my target was hit here, and I called this descending Brownian wedge, which a lot of people would probably have seen or been able to call. and this was a double your money chart. Again, here we have another Matic chart, and as you can see, after this coordinated short attack, it did take a little dip past where I initially started the chart, but as you can see now, we're already moving up. This is probably like a 40%, probably about a 40% move already. I could take a look. Let's see, I started it at 202 sats, and if we come over here, we use our price tool. Let's go to 202 to current price. It's actually 24% gain, which is amazing. I really think that if Bitcoin holds, you can probably see Matic hitting 330, 350, sats again. But current target has already been hit, and there's one more target that I'm looking at in the short term. Of course, I like to kind of post charts as they come, but my charts have been exceeded recently, or at least hit. So it's kind of cool, pat on the back for myself and my trading or my analysis skills, I would say. I'll go over the analysis that I put out. I said, well, most people would look at a chart like this and run, not me. Let's break this down like always from a TA, FA point of view. Remember, my last Matic call exceeded all my targets. I must explain that even though this looks like a cup and handle, it is not based off old school TA, though it may still result and be traded like a cup and handle if we rally hard. I think a lot of people will kind of trade it like a cup and handle, even though it's not. TA, I said firstly, the 1D chart does not fully show you what is happening on the smaller time frames, and what you see on smaller time frames can easily transition into medium and larger time frames as long as Bitcoin holds steady. And that's important. Bitcoin has to hold steady. It can't crash, which it kind of took a dip, which brought Matic down for a little bit. Now it says the smaller time frames moving averages are starting to cross up and over each other, indicating that there are bullish tremors even after the concentrated leverage short attack. Also, which is huge because you would imagine that after an attack like that, people would already lose interest or want to step away, but they're not, because there's so much coming out for Matic in the short term, and that's going to come out very soon. So people are still buying Matic. Also on the one day chart, we see the MACD indicating that selling pressure is subsiding. The stock, it's still subsiding. The stock RSI looks to give a definitive buy signal soon, and the RSI is oversold. The stock RSI has already given the buy signal. And the RSI is oversold, looking as if there's a little room for downside, which actually was the case. The indicators give us an overall bullish sentiment, which is true, at least for a relief rally, so it's true. Though caution should be held due to BTC, which is true. My stops are set if trading. Lastly, we are sitting upon the 200D EMA. And really, I like to put out this stuff more as analysis, not necessarily saying I'm trading. It's just analysis so that you can view it and you can make out with it in your own way. I don't want to give like too much trading points. It's more of analysis that I want to give, because I think a lot of people miss a lot of points. So I like to put out my data. Plus, I like to keep track, of my own analysis for myself to see, my own growth. And sure, this is a new chart, and the moving average does not have as much data, but the area is still support. Yes, the 200D is 200-day EMA is always that areas should be seen as some type of support. Essentially, you could even look at the 200-week moving average even being more important. But fundamental analysis FA. Nothing has changed in regards to the team and the amazing tech and dedication that is being put forth. They have cleared all suspicion and have explained everything in depth via multiple AMAs/interviews, and also a lot of people came out to support them. Lots of other projects, even Binance came out and explained that there was no way that it was them. To continue, they're looking to finish the year completing 50 plus hackathons, which is 3 to 4 times as many as most teams do in a year. They are on schedule for staking soon. That's already out. At least it started. And the mainnet should be completed Q1 of next year. So also another thing coming out soon. Of course, there's a massive speculation that Coinbase will list Matic because Coinbase is an initial investor in the project. There are already many top-tier projects experimenting and building upon Matic, and this will only increase greatly after the mainnet. Essentially, there is plenty of news to keep this project in the spotlight in 2020, being that it is the most widely adopted and successful Layer 2, helping Ethereum with scalability. I post some more information here, but that's the gist of the analysis, and you can see that they're really just kind of stair walking it up at this point. Right now on the hourly, I like to look at the hourly a lot. A lot of traders don't. They like to look at the 1 day, but I look at everything. I start from the 15 and I move my way up to the 1 day for like a short-term, medium kind of analysis that gives me a better picture of where we're going, from day to day. So on the hourly, if you want to look at this just on a kind of short-term point of view, Stokes are up. MACD is showing buy pressure still. The RSI is in bullish territory, and you look at our EMAs, we're actually looking to have a 50-hour crossover, a 200-hour very soon, I'd imagine. And you can see that the candlesticks are on top of the 21, so we're kind of just stair-stepping our way up at this point. You can probably see another pullback down to around 240 sats at this point, and then there's a really good chance if Bitcoin holds still that we break 251 and start moving our way up, to 300 plus sats, especially if Bitcoin continues to move up slowly. A lot of people are saying that 7,800 is a good target for Bitcoin, and that we're currently sitting at like a temporary low for Bitcoin. Everything has to be analyzed day to day to get an idea of where you're going, but essentially I think that, in my own opinion, not financial advice, none of this is ever financial advice. I think that the Matic Network is extremely bullish for 2020. I think that the chart looks great at this point. It's after that leveraged attack, really put us at a really great buying opportunity, in my opinion. Anyone that bought recently at 180 sats, you might have bought the low. You might have bought the low. We might never see that again unless Bitcoin crashes to 5K. But I don't know how possible it is. This is not a Bitcoin analysis video. So yeah, there's hopefully that all kind of summed up to show you how fast Matic is working, how fast the team really can put out adoption and moves, and also explain the leverage short attack and kind of give you an idea of where I think that altcoins are going. I think that altcoins are starting, the good altcoins are starting to see positive momentum at this point, because this is a building phase, and a lot of these projects that are truly building quickly and effectively are seeing a lot of spotlight at this time, and you can see that in price fluctuations and movements, and even on the dominance chart. So anyways, guys, never give up on the future of money, and I hope you all are doing well, and take it easy.